8.2 volt. Just checking. Just checking. Presently I feel a little dizzy. Just had a meal. Very bland, very simple. Just a baked potato, tuna fish, and some sweet corn. That's it. Didn't put any butter. I was itching to put butter on the baked potato, but just had to bite my tongue and say no. I'm not putting any butter on this baked potato. I mean, even even while at hospital, sometimes I'll say, the food menu they got for the day, and then they order, you order your next one for the evening, and um, I'll say, I want this and that. They give you a selection, and I'm on one of those. I say, okay, baked potato. The butter they give you is small, those little tiny sachet butters. That's what my ECG's showing me. That's what my present. It says my pulse rate's within an 80 range. Oxygen level 94. A little bit low. It's coming up, but I just feel a little bit dizzy at the moment. Pulse rate 60. It's varying. But I just feel a little bit faint, dizzy at the moment. Probably because I got stressed with my cats, because they're jumping around me while I'm trying to have my meal. I don't hover over them when they have their meal, and it's the same with um, Magic. He eats too fast because Bear is going to come around and antagonize him and start taking his meal away and all this. And you get a fight, and then um, I'm still sweating a little bit. I'm still perspiring. So yeah, it's a very bland meal I just had. Because in some way, I'm a little bit conscious about. I mean, not. I mean, I look at the can of soup, and I can see it's got these color bands on the, whether it's good or bad, and I thought, I don't think I'd have that soup again. And it's got this and that in it, and um, I mean, one can now and then is not going to be problematic, I don't think. And then of course I burn the calories off later. Um, no, it's just my cats. They're, they're supposed to calm you. When they come. Bear's different. He's bit more different cat than Sooty. Um, Sooty would come up and and Sooty don't mind if I pick him up and put him on my lap, and then Sooty calms down and settles. But rarely, with Independence, will come up sit on my lap. Magic does. He sits on my lap. He comes up and wants to lay on my lap. Bear doesn't rarely do that. And if I pick him up and put him on my lap, he'll get down. So he doesn't like that. But if I'm laying on the bed, he comes up and lays on my chest, and yeah, strange. Or sits beside me. Yeah, So he's got different character, personality. I just feel a little bit strange around the head at the moment. But let's just check that again. Just check that again. Just feel a little bit faint, that's all. Vision's okay. It looks okay. Yeah. It's showing the numbers there, but the signature reading on the graph, it's totally different because I got a video that maybe a couple of months ago, maybe 9 months ago, where it shows a nice up, down per second within the I think 98 oxygen level with a 75 to 85, I think, and it's got a specific signature. That's where I should, well, that's where I should be, but I'm not. At the moment, it's showing the numbers are low there on the pulse rate, and yet the graph is showing me, and I know now it's gone up to 105, 106. It's steady down again. Yeah. So, yeah, just for a chat. It's been sweating quite a bit, perspiring quite a bit this morning. Crikey. Right. It's coming up to 11 o'clock, and I'll try and get on the exercise bike at 12 o'clock. If not, try to get on the exercise bike today. Anyway, I'm not going to push for a time to get audiences and whatever. See if I get on it sometime during the day, because I wasn't on yesterday because I wasn't up to it. But if I feel that something's going to put me in a situation where I ain't able, then I'll abort. You know, I think that's what I think that's what Jim Lovell should have done on Apollo 13. You know, when in doubt, you know, that so far this is not going well, and the 13 is, you know, not exactly a good number for a mission, a superstition. I'm superstitious myself. You know, every time I see that scene in the movie, you know, and you got the James Horner score, and it plays with that part where he's glancing away from the rest of the engine shutdown, the center in, what is it? The center engine shutdown. I mean, that whole vehicle was completely knackered, right up to the right up to the right up to the lunar module thing. It was completely knackered. Yeah, he should have just gone for it and just abort, you know, put the thing on there and turn the handle, and then the launch escape tower will fire away and take the rest of it discharge, and then come back for a return. But how would you to know? But then if some part of the vehicle can come back, and then they check that vehicle and then find some flaws in it that would have, yeah. But who knows? Sometimes you don't know. You're riding a vehicle that's completely knackered. I mean, I'm a vehicle in a way, and at the moment, I'm completely knackered, and yeah. So if I don't feel up to it today, if I can't get anywhere over 10 minutes or something, if I feel fatigued, I'll just abort. I'll just abort and just take it easy. And the most I'd only burn off is probably 10 minutes. I think. I don't know how many calories that usually that is, but it's not a lot. Um, but with this sweating thing, it's been going on now a few hours, on and off, on and off. I could Google some keywords to see if it might be anything to do with something I've been consuming. I just feel a little bit. Oh, it's amazing. You got all these friends, they say your friend, they're your friend. I'm your close friend. I've known you for years, and they don't even bother to come around to see, you know. Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, I don't need someone coming round begging like a dog. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't need that. I don't need that. Some leopards just don't change their spots. I'll just let that carry on. And one day it's going to catch up with him. Yeah, it'll happen. Um, yeah, yeah. I got this guy that I talk with. He lives in Denmark, and we've been talking, webcam and that. We've been talking with each other now, and um, we have similar common interests, and I would consider him my new friend. If he lived any closer nearby, I would trust him to come over and feed my cats while I was at hospital. I wouldn't trust my so-called close friend who I've known for decades. I wouldn't trust him any further than I can throw him because he's let me down. Anyway, it's just human nature, I guess. It's just human nature. Do all the, you know. I just want it simple, simple life. I don't want a 20 million pound home down on Sandbanks. I would be, I don't know, depressed, automated, and all this stuff. Smart home, load of rubbish. I see smart home, or I see all this same technology when you go into a supermarket. Doors open automatically. So what? long before those doors were put in. That's decades ago. Um, but seeing some of these technologies, and you think, oh, I want a smart home. Do you want a smart home? I think just give me 2 cats, and providing they're not giving me hassle, because they can be unpredictably. I get Magic. Magic's every time I'm making a meal, he's trying to come up on the counter and grab my meal. Bear, he doesn't do that, but Magic's got a bit of a weight issue. His weight's a little bit low, and I've been struggling to get his weight back up with other food, protein, to get his weight ratio back up a little bit. And it's enormously difficult, strenuous for myself. I need someone to help. I've got a great entertainment system, and the deal is you help me, and then I'll provide the entertainment. That seems like a wonderful deal. I don't think you'll get that deal anywhere else. Because there's only certain dynamics that I can handle at the moment, and I can't cook a well. What is cooking a decent meal? Um, if there was ready meals that were designed to be very low in sugars and salt, well, frankly, uh, I don't know. I've got to see an expert, a doctor expert again. I know too much salt is bad. For my condition, it's bad. In fact, it is bad. I don't eat crisps anymore. I've thrown them away, so I won't be eating crisps anymore. Even though hot weather and such, salt and vinegar crisp, and I don't. Yeah, if I was walking or if I was out cycling, I take some fluid drink in my water bottle. I've got either Magic or mostly Bear in the cat carrier in the basket. I've got maybe might have a packet of crisps in there, salt and vinegar or such. I just put it on my tongue, and just soak on it. I don't, and then another, and then another. And I find that when doing that, by putting it on the tongue, like it it does with the glands, it registers, and um, it provides some ease, with the hot weather, minimizing dehydration. Yeah. Now I've still got some fluid drink to drink, be it whether it be water with some squash in it, mostly a little bit of fruit squash, and the rest of it distilled water, actual distill, not this bottled water stuff that they say it's distilled. Highland Spring, yeah. It came from a tap. Yeah, because if everybody had their own TDS, total dissolved solid TDS reader, you'd be checking this so-called distilled water and finding it's in the. Why is this in the red slightly. Surely it should be in the green, you know? If it's distilled, it should be in the green, but it's not. And hearing about other things like small particles of plastics and, oh dear. That's off putting. That really makes my skin crawl. So, God, bloody hell, why am I sweating? I'm perspiring like I'm not going to shrink, am I? I'm not going to be going to shrink and go to like the Incredible Shrinking Man. I'm relaxed here. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. I'm still. This has been going on now since I noticed around about, I don't know, 7 o'clock. It's just over. It's just past. Usually I notice this in the past, and I usually it's periodic for about maybe 10 minutes or so. This is getting on and off now, on and off now for a few hours, and you don't get healthcare workers coming round. They know that this patient, here and this one here, they have heart issues, and they should get at least, I think, through NHS or healthcare, they should get at least, I think, two or maybe throughout a week. Let's see. Let me guess. 5, 6, 7. Sorry. One there. Wow. One there. Maybe 1 and 2, 3, 4. Maybe 4 visits per week, at least, because blood pressure checks and so forth, and I think at least 4 visits per week. Because I'm not able to walk up. I'm not putting my stress. Just walk up to the doctors and get more or less disappointed because the doctors we see at surgeries today now are not often the same doctor, GP. I don't know them from Adam. They don't know me. Well, I just met that person. They just met me. Now, if I go back about 26 years or so, or a little bit more, I think. Hang on, when was the last time when I was with my other surgery? Because I moved into a different district area, you have to change because you're out. I'm a few miles away from the other doctor's surgery, but I used to see the same surgeon, the general practitioner. There'll either be two. Sometimes it might be a female, but I often see the same one, and the male GP be the same one. They get to know, the medical, then they ask you, and situation there seemed a bit more different to what it is now. Now it's like I got to mention everything about, which I don't mind, but it seems so annoying that I can't understand. For one, the GP that I saw last was a female GP, and she took my blood thing and noticed it was high. I'm surprised she didn't prescribe any medication for me. She didn't provide any medication. She knew my heart rate was too high, and she didn't give me any medication for it. And then saying, book an appointment for an ECG, which I think was crazy, right? To book an appointment about a week or so later for it to come in, to walk, go back down for an ECG, which is the day when I went into hospital because I just didn't feel like walking up the road. I was very, very, very low, very, very weak. And in some way, I partly blame that GP because she didn't give me any medication. Not even thinking that this is not right, you know. We need to do an ECG, whatever, how many trace they do, 6 or 12 trace lead reading. They need to do it now, not next week. They need to do it now. They got everything there. I look around in the doctor's surgery. It's not. It's hardly got any patients in there. It's very quiet, and they can't even be bothered. To me, that is some way of neglect, laziness, and neglect, or they just can't be asked. And that I find very disappointing with the doctor surgeries today. I'll go back a few decades, go back 20 years or so. I'll be seeing the same doctor, and they would have had more cause to raise alarm and say, this needs to be checked out now, you know. I think with some of these local surgeries, today, they're mostly employed Indians from, medical thing. And because most of the doctors have gone to Australia or New Zealand because they get better pay wage. They are valued more than up here. I don't know what's going on, but it's diabolical. So if I were to migrate to New Zealand or Australia, I'll probably get better healthcare down under than I do up here. It's absurd. It should be equal. It's one planet, one little pale blue dot in this vast emptiness of expanding universe, and the situation is diabolical. I think these doctor surgeries think that most people come in are not really that, and they're just blagging it or faking it or just so they can get some medication. And some people try to get medication, the certain drugs and that, so they can sell those drugs, because you get addicts out there that would try any sort of mean to get a type of medication, which you can't usually get over the counter. It's got to be prescribed. You got those situations, and I can understand that, how, but I'm a legit case, and I just feel so angry that that female doctor should have given me some medication back then, or should have. All I can say is, if she was the bloody flight commander on Apollo 13 or what, she'd be a bloody disaster. I mean, she hardly did any tests that were thorough. put an little thing on my finger, just take the pulse, and rate. And I'm trying to describe as much, detail as possible, And I think I only saw, I was only in there for about maybe under 10 minutes. And then you get this excuse with, I got other patients. BS, total BS. There are hardly any out there that I saw. Very, 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 I mean, 3 or 4 other patients. It's not like it was full. Crikey, you'll get round to seeing all them, and then they get the same. Probably less than 10 minutes. A doctor, general they only write out prescriptions. That's all mostly. Take your blood pressure, your weight, and ECG. But they're mostly only writing out prescriptions. But why that doctor didn't give me a prescription for my heart rate? But then she wouldn't know the full situation. And in a way, I think she was partly negligent because it waited another week or two, another 2 weeks, I think. I wasn't getting any better. And then I ended up in hospital again. Same ward, same cardiac ward. I could file a case against that doctor. I could file a case against her incompetence. I should have videoed it. For my well-being, my safety. I should have videoed it. But some people get queer sometimes when you're videoing. It's like, I think that person's got something to hide, because there are cameras everywhere. And if they feel conscious, okay, about video being this whole thing videoed, myself in the video as well, if they feel conscious about it, well, they should feel more bloody conscious about walking around the streets or even going into a shop, because there are cameras watching them. If you're conscious, then you wear something, to cover your face up and all that. And if you're that conscious, me, I'm not. I got nothing to hide. But there are some people I think do it because it may, like this doctor. I should have videoed it. The way she just did the examination, which wasn't a real examination, and then telling me to come back 2 weeks later for an ECG. That was just too late. The ECG should have been done then and there on the take blood pulse rate. That's not good. We need to, okay, just go and wait here. I'll get a nurse in, come in. We'll do an ECG. We'll do a 12 ECG, 12 trace lead right now. Not next week, right now. I can only do a free trace on my little thing here. I don't do a lot of it. And it's deciphering the information. That's why I mostly only just put the thing on just to check my pulse rate. You ever heard the saying, must I do everything myself? It reminds me of like the movie The Martian, when the guy, when he comes conscious, aware, wakes up, after, the storm and that, and being marooned on the planet, and then realizes that he's wounded because a piece of metal got stuck into him, and he's struggling to get back, and then he's got to do a self-operation on himself, sedate him, and morphine or whatever, then do a surgical procedure. I couldn't imagine what would be going through your mind if you're doing that. For me, it'll make my skin crawl. But I'm so bloody angry at that doctor down the road. If I go down to the doctor's again, chances are I won't be seeing that same doctor again. It'd be a different doctor, an Indian, or surprisingly, might be a British national. Because the NHS are hiring Indians, medical doctors, come over here. And while all the other doctors may be Indian, born in this country, Indian or British nationals, they're all migrating down to Australia and New Zealand because they get better. They're valued like gold dust and they get better pay wage. Pay wage versus healthcare versus. I thought this, if you raise your hand, I bow allegiance to make patients that are ill better again. And, it should be something like that, It's like someone that says electronics. I'll keep your amplifier going, you know. Amplifiers fail. And in a way, I feel like a week or so ago when I was in hospital, I was describing, I felt like a capacitor that's giving this erraticness in the pulse rate, the heart rate, the lower chamber of my heart. It's like how I went down that rabbit hole and put myself in that situation. I am absolutely disgusted with myself. I should have. I don't know why I was taking Diet Pepsi, thinking Diet Pepsi is. Oh, it's diet. Diet, like what is in dieting, That drink, not even in small moderation, is good. They say they are adding so much sweetening to it. Well, that's easy, isn't it? I mean, might as well just add, when you add a little extra sugar to a fizzy drink, it just gets a bit more fizzy. It just goes a bit more fizzier. Just a bit of sugar when you add it. I doubt I'll even be, well, even though foods have got so much percentage of salt or maybe a sugar, protein, energy. And I'm thinking I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm going to starve myself because that's not going to be good that's not going to be good. It's just what meals to, I don't need to stuff myself. I think at most, maybe 2 meals per day will suffice. Breakfast, I don't know about breakfast. Breakfast. I think that's some stereotyping. Just a simple meal in the morning, okay? And a simple meal in the evening will suffice. Breakfast, lunch. I just call it a simple meal in the morning and in the evening, and that's it. No, no more snacks and no more chocolate biscuits anymore. I can't say I'm gonna miss those chocolate biscuits. But they won't miss me. But they're just, you know, um, it's like someone that smokes and they can't kick the habit. I have kicked the habit so far. I've kicked it on the mayonnaise. Boom, gone. Um, Crisps, kicked it. Gone. I don't think. I was one. I was thinking putting a little. I wanted to put a little bit of tomato ketchup on my baked potato this morning, but I thought no, don't want to put it on there. So, okay, the orange tablet things, bit of vitamin C, gone, kicked it, especially when they're full of salt, which could have contributed to my condition. Thinking they're good, they're healthy, but they're not. Not sure how. Maybe the side effects. Maybe I'm still getting side effects from it. Maybe it'll gradually filter out and it's just this occasional cough still. This cough thing has got to fade out at some point, at some stage, and then I'm in a slight diagonal position. If this were a few weeks ago back, I wouldn't be in this position too long. I'll be suddenly going vertical, upright, because I feel like I'm suffocating because it was doing something to my whatever, breathing. I'm not sweating, perspiring at the moment. I think that's faded away. It's some sort of thing. I'll Google the answers later as to why. But there's another thing that I just want to bring to mind. When you phone a doctor's, I know the situation up the road. I know how busy it is. I know if I were to go up there now, it's pretty quiet. I guarantee. They've probably got at the most 3, 4 patients waiting, and that's quiet. They're not like 10 or so more. They got very few there, and mostly what I see with nurses walking around this and that, I think, what are they doing? What exactly are they doing? Because my state of mind of thinking, I think they're not really doing much, I mean, it's like they got to have them walking by, okay? So patients see, yeah, to make us think, oh, they're busy. This is busy. But maybe it's just a lie and it's BS. And because I don't know what they're exactly doing, they have to say what they are doing. Because what I see going, because what I get the results from GP there is Very disappointing. There's no point going to another. I mean, there was a surgery down that way, down that end of the road, and I go up this end of the road now. It's a little shorter distance, but when I went down the other one, I just didn't like the attitude. They got to understand a patient can be very attitude themselves sometimes, and the pressures and so forth, and because we're looking for answers, looking for answers, and we're not getting many. We're not getting much in the. So I don't go down that one anymore. In fact, that surgery down that end, it's got such a low rating. I mean, a score rating. It's got such a low score rating. The other one's got a bit more of a high score rating. Yeah, the one down there seems often a little bit busier sometimes, and that one down there, I just don't understand. I can't figure it. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Very disappointed. I just put it down to, maybe laziness. I'm not lazy. I mean, bloody hell, putting that home cinema thing together myself, that is extremely hard. That's not lazy. That's bloody hard work, physically and mentally. Yeah. I think there needs to be a watchdog a little bit more into this chat. If I have to go wear some Mission Impossible kind of covert camera, videoing, so it's hidden, so they can't see. When you get your phone out, can you stop videoing? Can you stop doing that? They got something to hide. Because if the video would have come public, if I would have put it public or showed it to someone before putting it public, showed it to another, and they think this is not right. That person shouldn't even be in the medical healthcare. That person should be removed because that is disgraceful what I've just seen. And I think there are quite a few of them. There are quite a few of them that shouldn't even be in the position. Oh, they just want it for the money. They want to be rich. They want to be high society. But when they're not giving high society and rewards and, doing proper checks thoroughly, they need to be removed from the practice. It's simple as that. Because there are plenty of others out there that are determined to be best. And what I saw up at the surgery a couple of weeks ago, that female doctor wasn't best. She didn't give me even any medication for my heart rate, knowing it's too high. Like, I don't give a fuck, Oh, I've got other patients to see now. And knowing I've got a high, I just put that down to laziness, neglect, and I'll just throw in the other word, malpractice. Yeah, malpractice is a nice word to use because that goes down very well. Yeah. You do for me, I'll do for you. help me help you, or I'll help you, you help me. I'm saying that, the doctor's got to give me results, help me with medication, and I got to give them feedback on that. Whether I think, what instrumentation, may show you sometimes is maybe a rule of thumb. I mean, this is just like an oscilloscope. It's designed for looking for certain signals in the body, because electrical signals. I had to explain that to a nurse at the hospital. These are just like oscilloscopes. But she didn't even know what that meant, oscilloscope or anything like that. She had no idea. Other surgeons or doctors, they probably know. And it is. They just someone clever designed medical equipment that was to look for certain signals, and the signals should usually give a certain signature, and when they don't, then there's something off. There's something that needs to be looked into. Yeah, I'm thinking. I was going to ask the doctor: is there a way to stop my heart? Boom, and then restart it, and maybe start up normal again. I don't know. I never mentioned that to a doctor. I was going to mention to one of the medical doctors that were coming round most mornings and asking and giving results and on what they're seeing on the readings of blood tests and ultra scans and so on and so on. I was going to mention it. Yeah. It's like when I got a piece of audio equipment in my rack, mostly the Sony SDDS. I think it's the power supply that I've got to look into. It's probably not one of the circuit boards, It's probably one of the, it's probably some of the capacitors on the power supply. Occasionally, I can see it on the storm audio, the signal noise. Usually it's down here, and suddenly it goes up a bit high. And there's something else on the SDDS. There's a sound monitor switch. And when switching it, I can hear a thump, 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 thump sound on the speakers. It should be neutral. It shouldn't be making any of that noise. In a way, it's kind of like my heart condition, or so I turn the processor off, turn it back on again, and it might have, gone back to a normal position and settled. But then it comes back again because there is a component that's failing on the power supply, I think. So I need to get it out of the rack. Well, even though I've got one other SDDS over here, over there, I've got another SDDS, which I removed from the rack because it had the same sort of thing. Could be one of the free cards, or it could be just the power supply. But I think I'll look into the power supply and see if there's any bulging capacitors, or if I have to take the power supply out, desolder some of the capacitors and put them onto a capacitor tester to see if the capacitor is within specification. If it ain't, then I'll buy a new capacitor and then solder in some new capacitors. And if that is solution, then yeah, it works. It's the power supply. If it's not, then it is definitely one of the other circuit cards. And some of them have got quite a lot of capacitors on them. And it's going through all those capacitors. Because it won't be a microchip, it won't be a semiconductor, it won't be a diode or a resistor. It's definitely a capacitor. Because I've seen the same noise or same similarity with the Dolby power supply for my CP200 processor, 4 decades old, 40 years old. And when powering it up, I thought, oh, the unit works and everything, but I noticed this noise in the background, this very loud kind of buzz, hum with a buzz sound noise, because they're random signals coming from the capacitors. And I had to replace all the, I had to order the capacitors, I had to order them, get them from America, and then replace all those capacitors. And then and then powered it all up again, and it works okay. I am thinking, the situation I might get into, maybe I just see myself going in the hospital again. Next time it might be for the doctor will probably say you got to have a heart bypass and all this. It's an operation. But they would have told me that, and they wouldn't have put me on this medication. So they know that they know with medication it's worked, but they didn't give me any results. So must I do everything myself? Do some research. I'm worried. That's all. I'm not scared. I'm just worried. If I die, I know what happens. My cat's going to a care home, and all this falls into my relatives, relations next, and I know the situation. I've been there before, had to deal with it myself, and I can't say I like it. Can't say I like it at all. I don't like gold digging. I just don't like that. I don't like people that gold dig. But I wouldn't have any worries anymore. That would be one thing, because I wouldn't have a consciousness. So I'd be just disappointed. What kind of pins and needles in my hand? What kind of pins and needle? Well, each day is going to be slightly different, maybe due to the medication. Just feel a little bit faint. Looking at the exercise bike. I'm going to do it now. I'll do it now. Just hop on, burn some calories off. I just feel a little bit faint. It's eluding me. I just feel a little bit. I'll just get some water and see if I'm able. If I'm not, I'll abort. I need to burn off some calories. I I like to get on, but it's pedal motion and doing, I'm just going to try. That's all I can do is try. If I don't feel like up to it within 1 minute, I'll abort. Like Jim Lovell should have done on Apollo 13. The moment that center engine shut down too early, what's going on with this vehicle? But they didn't know. They didn't know just a couple of meters below them. The cryogenic tanks, oxygen tanks, were completely knackered, and would when they do that stir thing, they're going to explode. It was waiting to happen. The vehicle was not 100%. So I'll just get some water and let's get some music for Valdi. Let's get some music. Okay. Of course. Just get some water. Just feel out of phase. I just feel a little bit out of phase. Mail. Magic. Can you bring the mail here? Go and pick it up and bring the mail here. I can't even train my cat to pick up the mail and bring it. I should have got a dog instead. Ooh, feel a little bit. I feel a little bit dizzy. Okay, if the situation was normal and I felt dizzy, if my heart rate was okay and all that, and I felt dizzy, I may not think too much of it. But, I just felt a little bit elasticy. kind of springy. I just felt a bit unstable. Whoa, feel a bit. Oh. This is about my walking pace. Oh, bloody hell. Junk mail. Thank you. You get junk mail. That's it. That's my nose directly. Do some research. I don't know what's going on there, but also. Magic again. I'm aborting. I just felt a little bit wobbly, dizzy. I'm not able. I'm aborting. Crikey. It pisses me off. I'll see if I'm okay tonight. I can exercise as long as I try to, but I'm not now. And I don't know why my nose is dripping. I've noticed this now for a couple of days. My nose is dripping. What's going on there? What that means? What's going on? Let me Google an answer. Get some answers. Put in some keywords. Runny nose. Dripping nose. Okay. Can't even verbalise it. Makes my skin crawl. Makes my skin crawl. It's possibly related to my heart. It's likely related to my heart due to the high rate speed it's going, or medication trying to lower it, and the chamber, get the blood chamber, get normal, you know. It could be that. Makes my skin crawl. Pisses me off. If I'm going to go on the exercise bike, I'm just going to start feeling dizzy, and I'm probably not going to do myself any favors with, but I got to do favor by getting weight off, but not if I'm going to end up in that situation. What's going on today, or what's going on at present, because it can come on unpredictably. Just kind of feel a bit strange around the head, kind of dizzy. My vision's okay. I know it's my ears. They seemed a bit kind of like blocked or blockage. I just hope I've not picked up a cold from someone. I don't need a cold. Oh. Maybe I should have stayed in hospital a little bit longer. I mean, with having to come home every 24 hour each day, feed my cats, and then after a while or such doing that, mentally it started getting to me. I can't handle it. And I wanted to get out of the hospital. I wanted to get out, but I'm there for a reason. So they can, help. So, and I saw one other patient there, and he'd been in there for just about a day, and he wanted out. He wanted out. They said they kidnapped him and put him in the hospital. I know the guy was a little bit confused, and I met other patients there. I've been there last year, I think, for when they had their heart operation and such, and were there for 11, 12 weeks. Yeah, and it depends on the individual, and I had to keep coming home to feed the cats. If I trusted someone to do it, for me, I could relax and get well. But yeah, it's a little bit strange. Bit strange. I feel a little bit strange, a bit suspicious as well. Um, the only one on the exercise bike at the moment is my cat Bear. Maybe he wants to do some exercise. Put your paws down there, Pear, and start pedaling. Okay. Oh dear. Bear's also used it as a scratching post. That's why the saddle looks a little bit ripped and torn. He occasionally got on there and used it as a scratching post. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Using a scratching post, eh? You little beast. Hey, Bear. Put your paws down there and start pedaling. Come on, you got the well, you probably, well, maybe just, well, barely move it, I guess. Um, let's just see how energetic Bear is, and Bear, Bear, wait, Bear. Oh, yeah. Magic, Magic. Oh, he was going to think about jumping up and decide to lick himself. Magic. Hmm. So I'll have to have bought an exercise bike. See if I see what I'm. I'll just wait until I feel okay. Um, could be any moment. Not sure if I'll be able to do 34 minutes. I'm perspiring again a little bit. Don't have any friends. Don't have any friends. Uh, you know what I find amusing about friends is, it's when you got friends, okay, and then they watch that TV show called Friends, and they seem more engrossed in that, more attached to that than with actual friends itself. Unless, of course, you can provide them a little dabbling on the side and all this nonsense. Then I suppose, yeah, you're in some way a kind of like friend. But if you're not, then you're not a friend really. You're just someone just uh, disgusts me. It does. It really disgusts me. And then you got the other friends sort of thing, like on Facebook, which I find amusing. When you see all these people who got friends of about 1,000, 5,000 friends, I guarantee, I promise you, those are not friends. Those are all fake, illegitimate, created by the same person or persons to go around scamming on Facebook. and you get the same sleazy scum that come onto YouTube. You know, you see all these Indians. I mean, well, they're only putting themselves down, their country down, and all that. They're only, you know, it's despicable. You see all these like fake videos. Like I walk along a field and I come across this hi-fi system, and it's just stuck in the mud and the grass and all that. That is total fake. That is total. If I walked around a field nearby or that, I don't think I'm going to come across a hi-fi system, a mini hi-fi system that's stuck in the grass and dirt. I don't think so. I don't know how it managed, and a video like that manages to get 1.5 million views or something. Is pathetic. In fact, that 1.5 million views is completely fake. If it's the same persons, and they're just creating fake accounts just so they go on and give it likes or views, sad. I mean, YouTube is really a sad site. And the other thing is where you find animals, cats, dogs, in situation with where someone's walking along and they find that, you know, that's clickbait. Those persons need to be located, grab them, have them arrested, because what they're doing is sick. I can tell you that if I ever saw someone do that, I would rough them up. I don't care. I don't care if I get arrested for roughing them up. I will beat the living daylights out of them. You know, I think since the internet, and though scamming and con people have been around for a lot longer than that, before the internet and that, but when something else comes along and they think, oh, this is easy, well, I could do scams and spam and all this nonsense. Yeah. Facebook, I would say, has only got about maybe 10%, maybe a little less than 10, maybe 10 or less percent of legitimate, and the rest of the 90% is illegitimate, complete fake, bogus. They don't even exist. They're pictures taken, stolen from elsewhere, and in basically they're what's the word? Impersonating. The one thing around on Facebook is this thing going around with quite a while now. Fake people pretending they're ex-armed forces, generals, majors, whatever, and using the same photograph. And they keep saying they're the real thing and all this. They're not. They're Nigerians. You know, despicable. Scum of the earth. Because also they have other fake accounts where they're women and all this and that, and pretend they're single, widowed, and all that. They will try any tactics to get someone to, you know, befriend, add them to their Facebook friends. Friends? They're not friends. They're not even an acquaintance. The scum of the earth. And I can spot these scum of the earth so easy on Facebook. They stick out like sore thumb. They're pathetic. They are pathetic. Why do people do that? I don't know. You know what? They're losers at the end of the day. Losers. I don't care. I don't care if they're well off and they're doing it on the side just for fun. They're still a loser. They're just plain loser. I just switched on the live chat. Just switched on the live chat because I realised I had it switched off. You got to switch it on manually. It doesn't turn on automatically. You got to switch it on manually. You know, I think there are a lot of people out there today that plain and simple, scaredy cat. Scaredy cat. When someone can't do a webcam chat with you, I'm thinking, what's their excuse, you know? You know, you go on these forum sites and you see Audio Science Review, you know, and it's all about science and review and all that. Maybe I should go on and talk about my heart thing issue at the moment. I'll probably get a few members saying, I'm sorry, how you feel that. I know I'm going to get those comments and get well, blah, blah, blah. But when someone starts talking about their amplifier, this and that and whatever, and then there's strange noises and it's like, well, if they're noises and that, it can only be a capacitor. Can't be any of the other electronics. Won't be a diode or semiconductor or microchip. It's likely, and it's always a capacitor. I don't understand why they don't do a video to describe the noise that they're hearing. Because then someone knows, then instantly. I think it's a capacitor because that noise signature sound it's producing, it sounds like a capacitor. When the doctors look at me, they see that my heart rate's going too fast. They know they start to do a bit more research, quicker research, and then get an ultra scan, and then tell me my heart's moving at this rhythm when it should be going like this, and it's going like that. How I got myself there, I don't know. I'm absolutely. Come up here, Magic. Oh, Magic's come up on me. How I got myself there. It's partly down to myself, but also down to friends, you know, friends. You know, a friend should know that you have heart issues and know that, you know, a friend, they say usually a friend is there to care and all that. You know, there's one friend, and, you know, I don't think he could even look that word up or even spell that word out of English college, English college, English Collins, that's English Collins dictionary. And it infuriates me that you got these bullshitting friends around you. I tell you, it's better to have less friends than far too many. Because, like I say, when you go on Facebook, there's a comment there I'm reading. What's this say? What's this say? You'll be fine. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you very much. And stay healthy. You know, it's always nice to meet new friends, but that's few and far between, you know. I mean, if it's, I don't know, there's one person on Facebook, there's another person on Facebook. I know what he's all about. I know what this person is all about. And he's a bit more luxury rich. I think he's a doctor himself and he does home cinema stuff as well. But I know what he's all about and it doesn't fool me. And I think, you know, I'm just naturally disappointed in just got to zoom this up. You are very knowledgeable, and I've learned a lot in the last. You only know what you know. That's all you know. We only know, what we learn, and store the information. Now, if I had an issue where I'm going to have lack of oxygen going to my brain, I won't be doing any more of these videos because I'll be in a state of, I don't know, half of a vegetable. I'm not going to be the same. And I haven't had a stroke. I know I had not had a stroke or anything. Because paramedics told me if I could raise my arms, that's good sign. And I think, thank you. And I know a stroke or that will affect your speech. So going back a few years, I had some sort of head injury. Had some sort of head injury because my cat Bear down there, been going behind my projection screen, messing around with the cables, and I knew one of the cables were not connected correctly. And I've been behind that projection screen without incident many times. I go behind and the left channel HF compression horn slipped off the base cab, fell on my head, which is an approximate weight of about 50 pound. Yeah, 50 pounds. And they are damn heavy. I barely just grabbed the horn and settled it down, placed it down. And then I went faint headed and I was on a step ladder. It was a small step ladder. Next thing I know, I just collapsed down to the floor, blacked out for about, unconscious for about half a minute. Came around, put my hand up here, felt a kind of dent on my head, blood everywhere, and then crawling along the floor because I knew where the phone was and just struggling to crawl along the floor to get to the phone because I had to dial 999 paramedics. you hear about cats trying to kill and all this, and they're plotting, and I don't think it's a myth because after that sort of thing, that was um, I noticed many months later. One day I had a strange speech impediment. I couldn't verbalize words. I couldn't verbalize them clearly, and I think I can't understand myself. Thinking wise, yes, but verbalizing, I couldn't even understand because the words were coming out jumbled and scrambled. And I thought, it's got nothing to do with that head injury, is it? Anyway, go a little forward. During the summertime, you got I got this mini air conditioner. I've got a proper one in the home cinema room, a proper air conditioner. And I usually got a smaller one. I usually put here. I place it there. And you put a little water in it. And it blows cool air. Oh, what happens? I'll tell you, the bear gets up there. You know what? Knocks it on the floor. And below that is all the electrical plugs. I get out of bed. Next thing I know, I'm standing in a puddle of water on top of electrics at 240 volt. And next few seconds, I thought, what the fuck? Step out of it. Thinking, is that cat trying to kill me? Magic doesn't do that. Sooty never did that, but Bear, I swear, he is Damien's cat, the Omen. He's Satan's spawn. I've checked under his fur to see if he's got 999. Not 666, 999 lives. Like I checked to see if he's got any of that. Haven't found any, but he's just got such an attitude, that cat Bear has. Yeah, I could have got bloody electrocuted. I stepped out, grab a kitchen towel, kitchen rolls, soak up all the water, turn the power off to the power lead thing. I had to do that quite process a few times because I knew I had to turn them upside down, the things, because there was still water inside the sockets. Because every now and then the circuit breaker would go out and all the power would go out because there was still residue water. So it took a few hours to get all the water out. Oh yeah. Well, we all seen so many videos of cats knocking things over. As if they don't get what they want, they'll start knocking things over. So it's very difficult to meet their demand. Can't negotiate. Can't negotiate. What he's saying, let's just zoom this up so I can. Oh God. Oh God. I just can't stand this coughing. Oh dear. No, not really. If they can hear something, okay, it's not the same as it is in the room. It's going to be a different dB frequency level, totally opposite. No, only unless there's someone nosy and likes to just for the sake of it, but that's just being nosy. Otherwise, you think about street level sound, street traffic level sound. That's far louder than any home cinema. No if, no but, no debate. There's no vote about it. It is just plain way louder. What you hear in film soundtracks is the opposite. All you hear in film soundtracks is an approximation. You know, sometimes I find film soundtracks to be poorly mixed on some, and because you can play it at whatever level, and I just find some of them to be poorly mixed, and very rarely you get a mix. Rarely I would hear a film mix that I think, wow, this is clever how they mixed it, and um, yeah, but nah, I don't really get in complaints, and if I were to show a neighbour and all that, you know, not that I would, because particularly um, neighbours, neighbours. That's like a TV show, isn't it? Neighbours, yeah, neighbours. Everybody needs a good neighbour, a friendly neighbour. And then you watch that TV show, and all you see going on is a load of backstabbing. Bloody hell. Everybody needs a backstabbing. Just a good old backstabbing. Yeah. Bloody hell. Depressing TV show. More the same. It's like Coronation Street, EastEnders. I don't watch any of that rubbish. It's just a load of backstabbing. You know? It's like watching Julius Caesar in the 20th century, backstabbing going on left, right, and centre. But no, you actually go out with test equipment and measure street traffic level sound. You find it is way louder than any film soundtrack. Um, a projectionist also mentioned this many decades ago. Um, I think it was a film that was playing, and I was noticing the ambience and the sound detail in the auditorium on the playback. It was the movie They Live, you know, with the special glasses, and then you see extra dimension, alien, whatever, and the recording on the for the ambient street sound. I don't know where it's some of its library recording or if it's newly recorded and mixed. Um, it had a sound like it sounds like being out in the street without it being really that loud. And you know, one projector said to me, he said, you know, you want to like say you want to go and listen to real street level sound. That's way louder. Because I was thinking they had the fader level on the cinema fader. Usually the standards are 7 on the fader, which is 85 dB. Um, depending on the film mix, the X curve, frequency, dialogue, music effects, DME. Um, yeah, but I just remember you want to listen to street level sound, which I pay attention to. I still listen to and memorize, and street level sound compared to any scene in a movie I might play is still way louder than my system itself, because I don't want to make it any louder. I mean, um, I mean, it's very difficult to get real dialogue sound level because yelling when you yell That could be anywhere within the plus 90 range up to nearly almost 100 dB. And on average, I don't really want to listen to it back at that level. Maybe play it back in experimental for a short duration, but no, not all the time. Oh, got bear problem. Bear, get down. Get down from there, bear. Right now. Come on, bear. Bear. Get down. Get off of there. Right now. Thank you. Conspiracy of the bear. The bear conspiracies. Oh gosh. I feel lousy. Oh. Little. It could be the medication, could be still my heart rate, speed. You listen to real street level sound, and you'll know that film soundtracks, it depends. It depends. Soundproofing. Sound treatment, soundproofing are two different things entirely. Soundproofing is when someone says soundproofing, you got to add in specific amounts of plasterboard, glue, and build a barrier, build a surface area around the whole room, ceiling, floor, the whole, so when you play a pink noise sound at a very high level and measure it on the outside, before and after, to see how much it's dissipated by. But soundproofing is a bit more expensive than, I don't know what Bear's doing right. Bear, what are you doing with that meow? He's doing some strange meowing. Bear? Bear? He's up there in the kitchen. He's doing some strange meowing. Can't figure it. There's nothing going on in his hair. So, anyway. So soundproofing is a totally different sort of kettle of fish. Build a room within a room. A room within a room. You could buy little booths. You could buy these tiny little booths. They're only big enough for vocals or such. And you just basically put that in a room. And it's got insulation and all that. They say the specifications of this and that. I've been into a recording studio one time and heard how quiet and different it is. Of the insulation, and especially when it was located outside a bus stop, where a bus would stop outside, and I can't hear the street. I'm thinking, wow, it's good sound insulation, soundproofing, because the bus stop was literally outside, and buses, when they idleize, the engine at a bus stop is usually you get a frequency about 35 hertz. I don't know what Bear's doing. There, get down, get off of there, get off of there. My cat Bear's in a bit of a confused erratic mode at the moment. And I think average on the sound pressure SPL level. I don't know what's wrong with Bear at the moment. Bear, calm down. Bear, sweetie. Hey, what's bothering you? What's bothering you? I don't know what's bothering him, but see, he's got feelings, but I can tell by the way he's meowing, he seems very frustrated with something. He's been fed. He's been fed, so he'll be fed again this evening. I just don't understand why he's behaving a little oddly. Can you tell me? Magic, you don't have to sit like that. You can relax. You can relax. You can relax. I don't know what it is, but it feels like spring already. It does. It feels like spring. I'm just going to check the weather forecast, but I should be more concerned about my health than the weather forecast. Let's see that I can barely see it. Okay, what's the temperatures? Okay, temperatures. Okay, average predict these predictions. 8 today, 8 and 1. Tomorrow, 10 and 7. Temperatures are getting warmerish in a sense during the evening. It's not even spring yet. It feels like, I don't know, January, February, March, June. No, January, February, March, April, May. I don't know. It feels like a few months ahead. Well, another situation, if I'm not going to be well, I hope I do. Gosh, golly. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle during the hot summertime. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle, that. That's it. Sign myself out. Press the button. Bloody hell. You know, when I was in hospital, I had the live cam stream so I could watch my cats on my phone. So at least see what they're getting up to. And during the live stream, I check in on it every few hours. And then I noticed there was no signal coming through. I think, did I stop the stream? I can't stop the stream even if I try to on my end because two different systems. And when I got home, that day in the afternoon, feed my cats again, and then checked, cleaned up, saw a mess in the kitchen everywhere, and then checked the laptop. Yeah, my cats managed to reset the password, or I don't know. changed the orientation configuration on the screen, so it wasn't in this position, it was over in this position, and managed to reorientate the image. Even put it on USA language instead of UK. Yes. Clever. Very clever. I'm not sure if it was Bear or Magic, but they stood on the keys, on the keys. In a certain sequencing, I guess, and it just caused I couldn't even get it reestablished. I'll start it. I'll do it I'll do it when I'm discharged. When I get discharged, or they say I can go home based on medication and results. It took about 20 minutes or so to get the laptop back into its normal configuration specs. Yeah. So when you have a cat walking over your keyboard, sometimes you've got to be careful, because they only have to put their paws down on certain keys, and it's going to, you see these videos or these funny things with cats on key computers looking things up, information. Maybe they are. Maybe they're trying to take over. Well, if they're going to turn the damn laptop thing off, they're not going to get any information now, are they? Or maybe they didn't want to be watched. Yeah. They gradually, I noticed when the camera position was set in a certain position, and I noticed through the hours and so forth that the positioning started going from something like that to something like this and this, and so something was getting moved around slightly. I tried to put the laptop in a position where it had a good angle of the kitchen, so I could see where they are. But I think it was just a bad location, because it was also, they could easily sit on it, on the, when cats see something different, if they think they can lay on it, they'll lay on it. Yeah, very, very clever cats they are, very clever. Oh, what's Bear? Oh, for God's sakes. Now he's knocking things over, as typical as cats are, crying out loud. Bear, you're naughty. You're a naughty cat. Yes, you are, Bear. You're naughty. Yes, you are. You're naughty. Doesn't like to be told he's a naughty kitty cat. What the fuck? That's that stuff they stick on you in the hospital. What the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck? I'll bloody wash this off. Oh, it comes off. A little thing for the biosensors. God's sake. Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's the adhesive stickiness, Yeah. Yeah, that looks like a bogey. It comes from the nose. And if you had something of that size, and your breathing issue through your nose, because it's all part of breathing. You find it very difficult, you may have a cough slightly, or that's what it looks like. It's got the same stickiness to it. Strange. Oh, I feel very, no, I feel very faint headed. Very faint. Feed you tonight. I'll feed you tonight, boys. Feed you tonight. Very faint. Very, very faint. I feel very faint. Letter from the medical. So I'll read this. Right, dehydration. Okay. Dehydration due to loss of fluid of your body, vomiting. No, I've had no vomiting. Maybe a kind of diarrhea. Yeah. Fever, no. High temperature, yes, I would say, because I've been getting some of that this morning. Sweats, etc. Shaking. Shaking, I'm unclear. I'm unclear on that. Can make you dehydrated. If you are sick once or have diarrhea once, then you are likely to become dehydrated. Bear, will you leave Magic alone? Bear, scoot, go on. We'll go up there. Go on. Bear, come over here. Bear. Come up here, Bear. All right, pack it in. You leave Magic alone. You leave Magic alone. Magic doesn't like that. Do you, Magic? He doesn't like that. It's a naughty cat, Bear, he is. It's a naughty cat. Oh, okay. Taking certain medication of dehydration in the development of more serious illness. Taking certain medications, taking certain medicines when you are dehydrated can result in you developing a more serious illness. It makes my skin crawl, that does. Medicines that make dehydration more likely are water pills. Water pills. Medicines that can stop. Yeah. Painkillers. About dehydration illness. I have to take this up. All right, cut that out. Okay. All right, it's a little thing here, and you cut it out and put it in your wallet. So, and that's if they check the wallet, and certain medicines can cause maybe this dehydration or sweatiness. High. Yeah, but I've been getting that on and off over the last few years, and the most it's only lasted is 10 minutes or so. It fades away. It doesn't come reoccur. I've been getting it on and off this morning for a few hours. I feel like I'm some guinea pig in some sort of petri test of the. How I got myself here, I don't know. Okay. Cut that out in a moment, put it in a wallet. Tick, tick, tick the things that I think that are there, and you tick them, and still feel a little bit weird standing up, sitting down, and then standing up again. You're gonna follow me, Magic? You see, he follows me, Magic. I'll explain following. I'll explain following. What I think is following. My. I don't know if I feel worse coming back than I did when I was in. Following. Some people say, I'm following you. What does that mean? What does that mean, following? They're curious about you, or they're nosy. They got nothing else in their life themselves, and I don't follow anyone on Facebook. Yeah. But lots of other people follow. I don't know why they follow. I don't follow anything to keep updates on products or. 7 days in the hospital. 7 days a week. If I wasn't too exhausted coming, I don't know. If I felt like I could stay in hospital maybe a bit longer, but it's coming back every 24 hours, clean up, feed the cats, get in a taxi, go back to the hospital. I was thinking I wanted to smuggle one of my cats in with me, or both of them. I don't think they would notice if I walked back into the hospital carrying something. They wouldn't know what it is, but it would be my cats in a carrier. Well, that's not going to work because I'd have to go in with 2 carriers. I can't put a pair of magic. They're not close together. They won't get on. I was thinking of smuggling my cats in, taking them, but they soon know I've got cats in my room, and I say I've got to take them back home right now. And because one, I understand if anyone would have an allergy or such to cat furs, and I'm allergic to cat. I'm allergic. I'm allergic to the Maine Coon, which is a very, very fluffy type cat. The kind of largest cat, I think. Maine Coon. I came in contact with Maine Coon at a cat cafe downtown, and I loved the cat and petting it, and after leaving the cafe, walking up the road to the bus stop, I noticed then my eyes itching. I didn't think anything of it. It was the summertime, and I was thinking it's hay fever. Automatically, hay fever. Okay, a day goes by, I'm still itching and scratching, and then something else coming on. Noticed that kind of strange feeling around the body. And I thought, wait a second, do a bit more research. I've heard about things before, about allergies and such with cats, but then I started doing the research and realised it's possibly I caught an allergy from a Maine Coon. It lasted about a week until it faded away. It could have been fatal. But I've always been at close proximity with my cats. I've been around dogs before. I mean, I never picked up an allergy. Maine Coon. So if I ever see another Maine Coon, I'll probably be a bit cautious about going near one, because I'll be thinking I might get the same allergy again. I'd like to have a Maine Coon, but no, I can't have a Maine Coon. Plus, I think they're going to get larger, they're a bit more expensive, I think, to feed and keep their well-being and such. And I think it's a bit more expensive. Cat. Disappointing, really. Disappointing. Yeah. So yeah, if a situation's a bit more critical, you could be in hospital for until medical doctors feel confident with the recovery, medication, and then and I think it's a little bit more than that. There's a few things that weren't exactly done before being discharged. I mean, they got one of those exercise things on the wards. I think it's another part of the cardiac, where you go in on a treadmill to see how how optimized you are. I know if I got in there now, I wouldn't be doing the same routine as I did the first time many years ago. 9 years ago. 9 years ago. It's almost a decade. Curious. So, I know I won't be able to do that right now. So my walking at the moment it's like when I first had my mini heart attack. It's like, where's the energy gone to? Where's my body energy gone to? It's like someone, it's like there's some kryptonite nearby, and it's weakening my strength of energy, and it's really pissing me off. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. Crying out loud. It's really negatively, it's really distressing. I'm going to check myself again. Being in the hospital for a whole week is like having a holiday in some way to get well. Yeah, and all the other dynamic factors as well, worrying about my cats and oh dear. Oh gosh. See what this looks like. Oxygen level 89, 96, over 78, 84, 96 over 90, 96 over 84, you know, to look at, I mean, and like I say, the number looks okay, but the graph display is not exactly spot on. You know, this is like, you know, I'll just ramble about something. When you keep hearing about all this rubbish, this snake oil, um, room acoustic treatment, or you know, this Dirac, it's at the end of the day, they are just it's just an equalizer filter. That's all it is. It doesn't correct for room treatment. Room treatment is actually placing materials, certain types of material on the walls, the ceiling, in front of the room, at the back. That is room treatment. To you look at how the frequency response looks from a loudspeaker. Measure it around the room. Measuring it around the room. Oh gosh, that's complicated. It's complicated. It's doable, but it's a process that will take hours, if not days. Days, literally. It's not something you just plug in the microphone and otherwise all it's trying to do is manipulate the frequency of the loudspeaker. And if you were to place a microphone near to the loudspeaker and a second microphone that's in the room where they say place the microphone here, and if you could see the frequency response up close on two RTAs, one close up, one further away, I think you're going to be trading off too much, you know. And the idea is to get, say, it's not impossible, it's just extremely long hours, days of work. I don't know why it's gone up to 120, 104, 100. It's gone up a little high. It's coming back down again. Medication is going to take a while to normalize my heart rate. The chamber as well, my heart chamber. The lower chamber. No, a lot of these things are just, it's the same thing. It's an equalizer. An equalizer is an equalizer. Or if you tested the speaker up close, tested them up close, and you'll see that every speaker is slightly different. They're going to vary a little bit in the frequency. And the idea is to get a flat response or such. Get it smooth, flat response, and then have a few additional filters then to use afterwards. Maybe put a low pass, give a little bass elevation. Maybe it might need a little less bass elevation. It might need an additional filter in the middle, bandpass filter, just lower it, make it a little bit less harsher on certain frequencies that play within music range, or maybe sound effects, or it might need a high boost in the high frequencies so that the very, very high frequencies are could be easily perceived. Otherwise, our hearing range rolls off and we don't notice the high frequencies. They need to be elevated slightly. Same goes for low frequencies, but then after a certain range, realistically, we don't really we don't really hear below 20. It might indicate on the meter, on the instrumentation, but doesn't mean we can hear it. You know, if I play 16,000 kilohertz sine wave, it has to be increased slightly on the amplification. Can't do it too much on the input signal. Make sure it gets a good input signal to the amplifier, but the amplifier should be adjusted so it can amplify the signal without any distortion, any clipping in the signal. Otherwise, you wouldn't notice it. Wouldn't notice it. So a lot of these room EQ things are a load of nonsense, especially the names they give them. Unbelievable. Because they're trying to sell the same thing that they've been selling, or other manufacturers have been selling for decades. And they just try to give it a new name, a new angle, just so they can sell it. Otherwise, if an equalizer had filters of 20,100 or 20,200 filters, that's a lot. That is a tremendous amount. Then I could probably correct my speakers to be better than their original design. They may not be a JBL anymore. They now be something else. I mean, you could get them the speaker to be better, and then make the other adjustments, the high filters and so forth. Make the other adjustments, because if you're going to have a frequency response that's got too many dips or strange things going on, that has to be corrected with EQ filters. You can't have a microphone too far back in the room looking at it and thinking, you got to move that microphone around when it's playing pink noise. You got to move it around, see where the optimum best position is for that speaker outputting pink noise, that channel outputting, and then think that's about best optimum position there. Okay, run the EQ, the whoop 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 sweep, and then Dirac, I don't even use it. My system's way too complicated than anyone else's home cinema, because I've got other things in my what's called a B chain, and I'd like to run the Dirac. I'd like to. I mean, it could do up to, I think it could do just about. It could do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of filters. I like to use it, but it's also a bit of a not a user friendly. I want to be able to go into Dirac Live without having to do the whoop 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 frequency sweep and all that. I just want to go in there and activate pink noise, see how it looks, move the microphone around, find that position, think, okay, right, I'll start correcting that with the filters. And that's going to take quite a while. But the problem there is you've got to memorize, the rest of the sound of the speakers. The idea is to get the tonality of your typical LCR. It should have a or on the highs and on the lows. I'm trying to articulate frequency. They should have the same tonalities. And if you got speakers that are mismatched, they're not identical. They're not be the same drivers and all. They are not going to have the same tonality. They wouldn't even have the same frequency response. That's going to overlap. If you do a frequency sweep and they completely overlap transparently, and the tonality is throughout all the whole speakers, but if they're going, you think, well, that one, why is that sounding like that? It needs to be adjusted. Or you look into it. That's not room EQ treatment. That's not treatment. It's just in the speakers peak. It's just like applying sandpaper to some wood to smoothen it out, make it even. That's all an equalizer is. It's just like sandpaper to smoothen the response of the uneven wood. Yeah. And what I can't understand is some people that jump on this Dirac Live bandwagon and thinking they can make money from it. Oh gosh, it's the same thing with the blimmin' the video calibrating. You get video calibrators coming around your home and they're charging you 500-600. 500-600? Are you joking? Are you kidding me? They're only around your home for so many hours, and 500-600. I'd expect them to be around my home the whole week. No, whole week. I mean, a few weeks at least. You ain't going home. You're staying there. You're going to give me just over 2 weeks worth. 500-600. You wouldn't. I wouldn't even make that wage decades ago when I was working. I wouldn't even make that in a bloody week. That bloody pay. Daylight robbery. Never ever get a video calibrator. It's a load of. In fact, it's a load of snake oil. It's pointless. It's you see these. What's that on the floor? What the heck is that? Some things are bullshit. And most people know what BS is and believing it and thinking, like speaker cables and all these interconnecting cables are, it's going to be a solution. I can plug a loudspeaker into water, positive, negative. It's conductive. and then get an electrical signal to go through. And guess what? You get sound out the speaker. You know, if I could, I tried Vaseline, but somehow didn't seem to work too much. Maybe it was a little bit non-conductive and type. I just know there's a load of BS out there and a load of snake oil. Every time I hear the word snake oil, I laugh. It makes me laugh because yeah. I feel a little bit puffy on my ears. I feel a little bit congested. Like I've got a cold syndrome, a cold symptoms of cold. Um, um, yeah. I've only been in my home cinema one day since when I got back home. That was watched the movie Chariots of Fire on Laserdisc. That I got imported. That was imported from America. Brand new sealed. Brand new sealed, and the quality was good. Quality was good. Um, yeah, so I haven't been in the home cinema room for a few days now. It's like my mini Empire Leicester Square, but without the actual size of the auditorium. That doesn't exist anymore. Huh. That's down to management, and if they can't get people coming in, then they think they got to divide it into two screens. Thus, at the same time, they're going to lose nearly all their original audience participants. They're going to lose them because they ain't going to come back. They don't want to sit in a Limax auditorium. And another auditorium that's a kind of clone to a Limax as well. No one wants to sit in that. You get, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if Cineworld Leicester Square has had very low audience attendance. I wouldn't be surprised. That's down to management and the tactics and how do you lure in the audience. There was a great THX cinema up in London. 11 years ago. 11 years ago. And then they just handed it over to those Canadians. And then they took it to the sacrilegious slaughter Limax and just butchered it. And that's depressed me. That's depressed me. There was no need for that. Untouchable, it seemed it, but it wasn't. I guess eventually it'll happen to the Odeon Leicester Square, and I get cut up into two halves, and or they're actually, I think that auditorium they got they call it the Atmos Deluxe or something. I don't need to go in that auditorium. I can only listen to a video, and I can still hear the echo. I'm thinking, with all that money in development, whatever, they haven't done anything about the echo. Not one thing about the echo. It still echoes like. I don't want to hear that on a film soundtrack, because any echo sounds that you should hear should only be on the soundtrack mix to create the illusion. So when you got typical dialogue with certain signal pulses of the dialogue, we perceive that as an echo. The echo's still there, even if you clap your hand. That's like a sound effect. Clap your hand. That's a sound effect. If it was anything, sine wave tone, pink noise, and you turn it on and off, on mute, mute it on and off, you'd hear the echo. Plus, I don't like the layout of their overhead surround. They look very tatty. I mean, I thought mine looked bad, but no, that's about as tatty as I've ever seen. Cheap, tatty, and I wouldn't be seen near that cinema again. Their overheads are hanging suspended from the ceiling, and any expert would know that those speakers would perform a little bit better frequency response wise, if they were flush mounted into the ceiling. So you don't have to see the speaker, they're hidden more or less. Thus, also improves the smoothness of the frequency response. Clever that is, But no, they decide to suspend them from the ceiling, probably about 8 foot away from the ceiling, I guess, from some of the pictures I've seen. Very tatty, very cheap. Plus, would make me feel very uncomfortable. Thinking, is that speaker secure? Yeah. I'm feeling at the moment, am I secure? Am I secure? Don't have any friends. What the blazes is going on here with? What the blazes is going on with this? $83 oxygen level. 80. Anyway,